All right, so I'm here with my student Jeremy, who has been in StudioBrev for the last 3 months.
Is my quest to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest.
Yeah, so Jeremy, why don't we just start off by you telling us a little bit about yourself?
Being a small kid, I always loved singing. I sang in church groups and church choirs as a little kid, and I always loved it. When I was in my teens, I was singing one day, and then somebody that I really looked up to basically told me that I sounded terrible and nobody wanted to hear that. So I couldn't sing in front of people after that. And for the next 25 years, I would still keep singing, but I would have to sing in my car, or I'd sing if I knew that nobody was around me and could possibly hear me. Uh, Last year, when I was on a deployment, I saw Danny's Instagram pop up, and he was talking about, like, hey, I'm opening up my studio. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll give it a shot. And I almost didn't do the audition. I signed up for it, and I almost chickened out at the last minute because just doubting myself. I'm like, no, there's no way. Like, I'm terrible. Like, it's a waste of time. I'm just gonna embarrass myself. And then met Danny and Jen and realized for the first time that I actually do have a good voice. And it's been incredible working with both of them in refining that and kind of learning all the things that I didn't even know about singing. And it's just made such a night and day difference in how I sing, how I approach songs, the tonal qualities that I'm getting. And yeah, it's just all over. It's improved in every way that I can think.
Looking back, before you joined Studio Brev, what were like some of the specific challenges that maybe you were facing at that time?
So a lot of it was getting a good sound. I really had no endurance, and I'd sing, half of a song and my voice would just feel so tired, and it would barely be able to talk afterwards. And then also trying to get down into my low range because I'm a bass baritone, I always felt like it was really muddy the lower that I went and the muddier that it would get. That and figure out, like, why can I not make it sound like all these, low bass guys that I hear online that just sound so resonant and vibrant down on their low range, and I just sound kind of muddy and very flat.
There's a lot of coaches on the internet right now. Just a lot of coaches in general. But what made you decide to work with us versus maybe working with one of those other coaches?
I have a really hard time taking instruction from somebody that can't do the things that they're telling me, because in my mind it says, okay, well, you're telling me this, why aren't you able to do that? Because if you know the answer to this, then you should be able to do this. And then seeing your videos, I was like, wow. Like the first one I saw, I think, was the one you did. What's that Imogen Heap song that you did?
Hide and seek.
Yeah, and when you hit like the low notes on it, because my wife and I have always been big fans of like pentatonics. I sent her the video like right away, and she's like, "Wow!" So then when I saw the opportunity to work with you, I was like, "This is somebody I could listen to because they actually can do what they're talking about."
What has been the most game changing stuff here in Studio Brev that we have worked on?
Tongue position, vowel position, mouth shapes, uh, breath support, all of getting up into your soft palate versus all the things that go into making a good sound. For me, it's made all the difference. I know why I'm making the right sound, and then how to make those adjustments. So for me, that was the biggest game changer as far as that, just the understanding the technicality behind it.
Have there been any big discoveries for you here at Studio Brev
For me, my upper range has been the most surprising. I always thought that I was kind of doomed to a life of just singing really low, but then learning those technical things and training the muscles and the vocal cords to do those things the right way. When you assigned "O Du Mein Holder," where it kind of goes high and it's very light and legato, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to sing that because I think that's out of my range. And now I feel like I do it so effortlessly getting into it. That's been like mind blowing to me that I could even like create a tone that clear and smooth out of it. I always felt very strained trying to get up to those notes.
And now, how has the overall experience been for you?
Incredible. I'm working with two world class vocalists and vocal coaches, and every time you guys like make a suggestion on, hey, okay, why don't we try this? Let's try this exercise. I may not get it right away, but after a couple of days of like working with it, it just clicks, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's what they meant. Okay, I got it now.
I love the fact that while you were overseas, you were still making it happen. Like you were still getting after it. A lot of people use those things as excuses, right? Like, oh, I got this going on, or I got this going on. But you really made time for this. That was a big leap of faith you took. Like you had a big move that you were going to be doing. You were there for at least 2 months while we were working with you. Plus, then you were going to be moving home. Maybe tell me a little bit about what the experience was like for you, especially in the first few months of Studio Brev.
I was in the United Arab Emirates, but really it just came down to prioritization. And I told myself, like, I want to do this and I'm going to do it. And I just made it happen, just sheer force of will. I'm definitely glad that I made that happen. It was definitely challenging. It took a lot of thought and kind of scouting out areas where I'm like, okay, where can I sing? Where I ended up having to go down to my office a couple of times because that was the only place that was available, and then I was able to do some of it in my room. Yeah, it was a challenge with the time and everything, but I just made it a priority. And when I was figuring out my day, I'm like, all right, this is when it is. What do I need to do to be able to make it happen? Completely worth it.
During the move, that transition, what was your experience like specifically with Studio Brev?
I never knew where I was going to be necessarily at any one time, because coming off of a deployment, you're kind of all over the place because you've got to go to this appointment and that briefing and go to this building, and then you have to be back here for this, and you're kind of all over the place with it. And again, it was just making it a priority. If I'm not gonna not do this, I wouldn't change that for anything.
How do you feel like we have helped you? What sets us apart?
I would say it's the quality of instruction that you bring to it. You guys seem to hear all the things that I don't. And then when you point it out, I then like pick up on it. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I completely agree with that. And then even more so than just picking up on the things, but then it seems like you've always had like a tool or an exercise or a trick or whatever it is, and it fixes what that was and makes it sound the way that it should. And so I think really think the quality of instruction and the depth of knowledge that you guys have with the technical aspect of it, and I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense now.
What would you say about working with both me and Jen together as coaches?
You each will kind of pick up on different things that the other doesn't necessarily. So it's really cool to get both kind of pieces of feedback at the same time and kind of have multiple ears listening to it, and then getting different seeing different pieces of that highlighted, which to me just makes it all the more much better a product because you can refine it in more areas than working with just one person. And sometimes you'll each have actually a different exercise to work on the same thing, so it kind of gives you some multiple options of ways to like try to fix that and improve the sound.
Why do you think it's been important to watch us work with other singers in the community here on the call?
I think it kind of gives you a good spectrum of different voices. It's really great for me, anyways, because I can pull. It's kind of like having a lot of raw data that I can pick from and see different little things and pieces that I want to pull out and use and incorporate into my own singing.
How has this community helped you, either on the calls or in the community tab?
The confidence is a huge has been a huge boost. It still blows my mind if I particularly like nail something and people are like clapping or saying wow, like, but yeah, just the confidence in it. And I find myself singing in front of other people just spontaneously, and so being able to share that with other people and be comfortable with that has been really great.
How has your singing life changed since joining Studio Brev?
uh, Completely night and day. Before, I was just happy singing at church services, and that's all I figured I'd ever do. And now I'm looking at auditioning for a local play, which I never would have done in a million years prior to joining Studio Brev. And I actually am feeling like really good about going and doing that and experiencing that versus kind of having a lot of apprehension about it.
Where do you think your singing would be now if you hadn't started working with us at Studio Brev?
Yeah, I probably would just have been doing the same thing that I've been doing for the last 25 years, just singing when nobody else could hear me.
If someone is in a similar situation that you were in prior to joining Studio Brev and they want to get better at singing, but maybe they're a little on the fence about joining my program, what kind of advice would you give them?
I would say just keep an open mind and give it a shot. You'd be like I said, I almost didn't go to the audition after I had signed up for it, and I am so glad that I did because it's completely changed how I am as a singer, who I am as a person. I feel much more confident, and the quality of singing that I have. I mean, I've even in a way impressed myself because I never thought that I'd be able to do some of the things that I can do now, even after just 3 months of working with you guys.
Would you recommend Studio Brev to other singers?
Oh, absolutely. Um, it's it's a world class instruction, in my opinion. You're working with two excellent coaches, and they'll work with you to get to where you want to go. So if you want to sing opera, they'll work with you on opera. If you want to sing pop, they'll work with you on pop. If you want to sing like rock and metal, they'll work with you on singing that. It's all a matter of what you want to do and the sound that you want to get.
Do you find that the instruction that we have here at Studio Brev has helped you be more strategic with specific things to work on with your voice and within your repertoire?
Absolutely. It's usually the little things that I don't pick up on, and then you and Jen point out that I'll go back and I'll work on it, and then I'll look at other pieces that I'm working on and try to apply that piece of feedback to that piece and see, okay, does this apply here? It just makes everything that much better.
Well, Jeremy, this is great. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on here and kind of toot my horn. Definitely makes me feel good. I really appreciate it. We're so glad to obviously have you in the community, and yeah, I'm just thrilled with how far you've come. You know, that first session you came in to hear where you've come from since then. That's so cool. It makes me feel great. I hope that makes you feel good too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm like I said, I'm beyond thrilled and grateful that you guys are doing this and invited me into the community because it's completely changed my outlook on singing and how I sing. And it's before I kind of was like I said, I felt like I was doomed to just singing in my car, and now I'm looking at I'm like, well, maybe I could do this professionally. And but that's always been my pipe dream, is to be a professional musician full time. So yeah.
Let's make it happen. All right, man. So yeah, we'll take a little break here. We got a master class in about a half hour, so we'll take a break and then I'll see you back here in a half hour.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome.
Great, thanks.